what you'll need to tie the Ronnie rig: a large curved shank hook, a kicker, a micro bait swivel, a quick change swivel, I prefer mine without the big ring on, some semi-stiff coated braid, an anti-tangle sleeve, hook beads, some putty, scissors, a baiting needle and your pop-ups. How I like to start mine is I will take off probably 12 inches, if not a little bit more, semi-stiff. Then I'll get my quick change swivel and I will tie it as a figure of 8 loop knot. Instead of having that metal ring, I will then have a nice loop, whichever size I like, all depending, and the knot will give the putty something to bed onto. Always make sure you're cutting your tag ends off. Then I'll do the exactly same on the other side, another figure of 8 loop knot, and make sure you're wetting your knots. The first thing I see people doing wrong when tying a Ronnie is hook size. They're using way too small of hooks. This is what I like to use. It's a size 4 curved shank. With a Ronnie, I will not go any smaller. You want to take your kicker and cut a couple of mil off the end. You want to take your kicker, slide it onto your hook, being careful not to pierce through the side like that. Otherwise you'll have a bad presentation. Going to make sure it goes through properly and slide it down. Then you want to take your micro bait swivel, slide that on. Next, your hook bead. Slide your hook bead on. This is the next thing I see people doing wrong, is positioning of the hook bead. So if you have your hook bead too far around, like I see a lot of people doing, you'll have really bad presentation, the hook's not ready to go. I like to have the hook bead in between the point and the barb to give really aggressive presentation on the bottom. Next, get your hook and your boom that you've made. Put your hook onto the quick change swivel, making sure the opening is pointing away from the point of the hook. Then you want to slide down your kicker. Can be a bit tricky depending on the size of your kicker you've got. Let's get mine down just before the barrel to give enough of the shank showing as I can, so your bait has got plenty of space to drop back and get a decent hook hold. The next thing I see people doing wrong a lot is adding putty and not getting it balanced correctly. If you have it balanced badly, you'll have all this excess boom sticking up. It won't kick out right, it won't reset, so always make sure it's critically balanced. Take your baiting needle, thread it onto your anti-tangle sleeve, and thread it down on to your rig. And you want to get your bait floss and your pop-up. Thread your bait floss onto your micro ring swivel. Take your pop-up onto the baiting needle and thread on, making sure to pull the pop-up just down onto the barrel. Cut off your tag ends and then blob down with a lighter.